What if I told you that some of the greatest inventions in human history were complete accidents? Penicillin, the microwave oven, CocaCola, Velcro, even potato chips. These weren't the result of long-term planning or scientific masterminds with perfect blueprints. Nope. These life-changing discoveries happened by pure, unfiltered mistake. Today we're diving into the most unexpected accidents that ended up changing the world forever. Because sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come when things go totally, spectacularly wrong. Section 1. Penicillin, the mold that saved millions. Let's start with penicillin, the first true antibiotic. It has saved over 200 million lives since its discovery. But the man who discovered it, Alexander Fleming, didn't mean to save the world. He was just a little messy. In 1928, Fleming left for vacation and forgot to clean up his workspace at St. Mary's Hospital in London. When he returned, he noticed something strange. One of his Petri dishes, where he had been growing bacteria, had been contaminated with mold. But here's the twist. The bacteria near the mold had been completely destroyed. Most scientists would have tossed the plate, but Fleming looked closer. The mold was a rare strain of Penicillium notatum, and it was producing a substance that killed bacteria. Why, that messy oversight led to the development of penicillin, revolutionizing medicine and launching the antibiotic era. Today, it's hard to imagine a world without it. And all because a guy didn't do his lab chores. Section 2. Microwave oven, hot chocolate by accident. The next time you heat up leftovers, thank Percy Spencer and a rogue chocolate bar. In the 1940s, Spencer was working as an engineer for Raytheon, developing radar technology during World War II. One day, while standing in front of a magnetron, an important component in radar, he noticed something odd. The chocolate bar in his pocket had completely melted. Curious, Spencer started experimenting. He placed popcorn kernels near the magnetron, and they popped. Then he tried an egg. It exploded. Soon, Spencer and his team realized the magnetron was emitting microwaves that could cook food. That led to the creation of the first microwave oven, a massive machine the size of a refrigerator. Today, over 90% of households in the US own a microwave, and it all began with a melted candy bar and a guy smart enough to ask, "Wait, what just happened?" Section 3. Coca-Cola, the medicine that became a global icon. Coca-Cola wasn't supposed to be a soft drink. It was meant to be medicine. In 1886, John Pemberton, a pharmacist in Atlanta, was trying to create a pain relief tonic. He brewed up a syrup made of coca leaves and cola nuts, both natural stimulants, and mixed it with carbonated water. He called it Pemberton's French wine coca. When Atlanta passed prohibition laws, Pemberton had to remove the alcohol. He reformulated the drink and sold it as a temperance beverage, a kind of healthy alternative to booze. He claimed it could cure headaches, indigestion, and even impotence. But something unexpected happened. People loved the taste. It wasn't just a tonic, it was delicious. Before long, Coca-Cola dropped the medicine angle and leaned into the flavor. A marketing empire was born. Ironically, Pemberton sold off the rights for a few $100s and never saw the fortune it would become. Today, Coca-Cola is worth over $250 billion and sold in over 200 countries. Not bad for a mistake in a pharmacy. Section 4. Potato chips born from spite. Imagine getting so annoyed at a customer. You accidentally invent the world's favorite snack. That's exactly what happened in 1853 at Moon's Lake House in Saratoga Springs, New York. A customer complained that his fried potatoes were too thick and soggy. So the chef, George Crumb, decided to teach him a lesson. Out of spite, Crumb sliced potatoes paper thin, fried them until they were crunchy, and doused them in salt. He expected the customer to hate them. Instead, the customer loved them. Word spread, And soon, Saratoga chips became a local favorite. Eventually, they were packaged and sold nationwide. Today, potato chips are a multi-billion-dollar industry. All thanks to one petty chef and a picky diner. Section 5. PostIt Notes, failed superglue. Sometimes a failed invention becomes something even better. In 1968, Dr. Spencer Silver was working at 3M and trying to create a super strong adhesive. But instead of making something that bonded permanently, he accidentally made a glue that was weak. It stuck lightly to surfaces but peeled off easily without leaving residue. For years, he couldn't find a use for it. Then, a colleague named Art Fry had a problem. His bookmarks kept falling out of his church hymnal. He remembered Silver's odd adhesive and decided to apply it to small pieces of paper. Boom! The Post-it note was born. It didn't take long for it to become one of the most popular office products in the world. Today, billions of Post-it notes are sold every year, and it all started with a glue that didn't really work. Section 6. Velcro, inspired by a dog walk. Velcro wasn't invented in a lab. It was invented on a hike. In 1941, Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral went for a walk with his dog. When they got home, he noticed burrs stuck to his dog's fur. Curious, he put one under a microscope and discovered tiny hooks that clung to the fabric and hair. Inspired by nature, he began experimenting with ways to replicate the hook and loop system. After years of trial and error, he invented Velcro, a name derived from the French words velours, velvet, and crochet, hook. At first, people didn't take it seriously, but NASA did. Astronauts used Velcro in zero gravity to secure tools, food, and even themselves. Eventually, Velcro became a household name, used in clothing, shoes, bags, sports gear, and more. And to think, it all started because a guy paid attention to what was stuck to his dog. Section 7. Xrays, a glowing mistake. In 1895, German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen was experimenting with cathode rays, an early form of electron beams. One night, he noticed something strange. Even though the cathode ray tube was covered, a nearby screen started to glow. He had no idea why. He called it X-radiation because the cause was unknown. Then came the real discovery. When he placed his hand between the tube and the screen, he could see the bones inside. Bang! X-rays had been discovered completely by accident. Within weeks, Röntgen's discovery spread across the world. Doctors could now see inside the human body without surgery. It revolutionized medicine. He later won the first ever Nobel Prize in Physics for what he himself called a lucky accident. Outro. What do all these stories have in common? None of them were planned. They weren't the result of long meetings or strategic roadmaps. They were mistakes, accidents, moments of, oops, wait a second. But the people who discovered them didn't ignore the accidents. They paid attention, they got curious, and they followed the trail of unexpected results. In a world obsessed with perfection and planning, these stories remind us that sometimes the biggest breakthroughs happen when we mess up and stay curious enough to notice. So the next time something goes wrong, don't panic. You might just be on the edge of your greatest discovery. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe for more mind-blowing history and science stories. And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite accidental invention? And which one surprised you the most? Accidental invention.